Oh boy, they really did it. There was no need to unban this card. Well, congrats on finding this video, since you can't use the search bar anymore. Get it? Because Colossus prevents searching? I'm tired all the time. This latest ban list was nuts. It's synchro over, the limit does not exist, Link Karibo's in the Clink Karibo, delicious is the new malicious! Thunder Dragon Colossus is a game-winning floodgate boss, a brutal addition to any turn 1 setup. The easiest way to satisfy its alternate summoning condition is just Nemesis Corridor. This thunder monster activates from the hand to summon itself, just add any banished monster for it to return to the deck, and you simply tribute that to get your Colossus. I've been cooking, and I've found some pretty spicy ways to pull Corridor out of the deck and turn it into Thunder Dragon Colossus, while advancing my plays instead of cashing in on them. If you're new to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos, then buckle up, because we're going on an emotional journey. Returning subscribers might know that I'm a longtime fan of Nemesis for recycling and materials. They work especially great in Sapphire Surprise. Welcome back, old friends. People figured out pretty quickly that Corridor can be searched by Nemesis Flag, a level 2 Pyro monster. The Year of Fire never ends. Flag can be searched by Bonfire, but better than relying on a lucky draw, we can use the extra deck. The new Infernal Flame Banshee searches for Pyro monsters. Can we talk about this card's art? It's just a mess of random flames and then a dopey anime girl face. So nobody would want this product if we didn't slap a dopey anime girl on it somewhere. Banshee is uniquely potent with Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, whose simplest opening move banishes a monster to summon 2 level 4s. As the combo goes, you search and then summon Flag by returning that rainbow, search for Corridor, then to get a second banish monster so that Corridor can also summon itself, link summon SP Little Knight, which banishes whatever monster from your graveyard, providing the fuel for Corridor. Off of 1 Sapphire Pegasus, you now have SP and Colossus. Yeah, wow. But I'm not spending $130 on SP. Do you have any idea how many delicious, nutritious bran flakes that could buy? Daddy needs carbs, not waifus. The unbanning of Colossus must have been planned, because the newest expansion, coincidentally, has a common link to, for those who need to get a second banishment for that Banshee combo but don't want to splurge on SP. Haggard Lizardos. I don't know what a Lizardos is, but like SP, it banishes from the graveyard for some irrelevant stat change. You can also link it off to continue your combo without feeling bad. Lizard Thing also draws a card if you banish a reptile for it. But Crystal Beasts don't have a reptile. Emerald Tortoise is aqua and water, even though tortoises are reptiles that live on land. Turtles are aquatic. Know the difference. It could save your life someday. This next segment will discuss the nuances of Crystal Beast combos, so if you haven't watched my guide video yet, I highly recommend it. Deadly Shunpo recommended Cupid Pitch as a Corridor searcher, to summon off of Revolution Synchron as an alternative to making Herald of the Arclight. Cupid Pitch could follow up by combining with Power Tool Dragon to make Baronne, forcing the opponent to drop their Primal Being early, but unfortunately Baronne de Fleur is now Baronne de Forbidden in the TCG, making this combo risky. A random nerdy guy raised Mathmech Alimbertion, which searches for any level 4 monster. It saves a slot in the extra deck in the main deck, but requiring 3 materials to summon makes this budget option less available and inefficient. These Colossus combos are not without a heavy trade-off. The extra deck only ever gets more cramped. Personally, my turbo build doesn't have space for a 3-card combo when I'm also packing synchros. Even if I get rid of the rank 4 floodgate and move Cowboy to the side, I would still have to give up protection or fixing. So I headed back to the kitchen. I'm very tired. You'll need to get a second banish monster if you want to fuel both Flag and Corridor's special summon effects. But if you start your play using cards like Golden Rule and Bridge of the Heart, you won't have to use up your normal summon. You can save that for the Flag and then save your 1 banished rainbow for the Corridor special summon. Or you can use one of these to special summon Flag from your hand, then search for the Corridor, save your banished monster for Corridor's effect. But these options won't always be available, so it's time to go even harder. Noble Knight's Shieldbearer banishes itself to search for Sapphire Pegasus, so it's like a 4th copy of your best card, and it's also providing an extra banishment, so you can now go through your Banshee combo, get the Flag, search for Corridor, and you have a second card you can banish and get your Thunder Dragon Colossus. For added fun, you could also summon Sheep beforehand, so when you drop the Colossus, you've got a trigger to get something else back. But we can go harder! Shield Bearer can also search for Dinotherium as an extender. Play it later in the turn, and it'll also let your opponent summon a monster from your graveyard. If they take the bait, take it back with Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. You've now got 2 cards in hand that you can feed to Saryuja's draws, and because Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is off the field, you can now fill all 5 zones for Rainbow Ruins. Or you can use World Sea Dragon Zealantis to summon the stolen monster right back to your field. But that wasn't hard enough. So I had a breakthrough. Those of us who summon Rainbow Dragon, we don't need the extra banishment. We don't need the extra summon. Everything I just went over is stuff you can do in any Crystal Beast strategy, and we'll come back to that later for another plot twist. But first, it's time to revisit one of the biggest jokes of a boss monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, Rainbow Overdragon. It does nothing, yet it suddenly became a vital combo piece under Sheep, literally just for being purple. And now, raise your hand if your 2024 bingo card had Rainbow Overdragon's attack boosting effect becomes a floodgate. Raise your hand if you even knew that Rainbow Overdragon has that effect. The actual attack boost doesn't matter at all. The cost is to banish a Crystal Beast from the graveyard, so that is your second banishment for playing your second Nemesis. During your turn, you can play Nemesis Flag by returning the banished Rainbow, then you'll eventually play your Overdragon, but before linking these off into Apollo, make sure that you use the attack boost effect to get that banished Sapphire. You can return that, get your Corridor, and get your Colossus along with Apollo. And you'll probably have a World Sea Dragon if you were doing these combos right. Let me play out a hand for you. I have picked out these lousy draws in advance just to illustrate something. So first, I will use Crystal Bond to place a Ruby and search for Sapphire. Then, by using Valence World, I can play another one to the opponent's side of the field. You remember what Valence World does, right? I'll normal summon Sapphire Pegasus and place another one. We use Valence World to special summon the Ruby, which therefore summons the Sapphire, and I can place Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon and crack that. So you got a summon and a search. I'm going to go for Saryuja Skull Dread next, but I've got 2 identical monsters. Now I've mentioned in my previous Crystal Beast guide that you can summon Dugari's the Timeless, who will summon one of the Sapphires back. You get an extra crystal out of that, but more importantly, you now have 4 different monsters, so you can get your Link 4, but you can also achieve that result by using Infernal Flame Banshee. So use that to search for Nemesis Flag, return that banished Rainbow Dragon, you get Flag, and it will search for Corridor. So now, you've got 4 different monsters, and a Corridor in hand, which will turn into Colossus at the end of this play. Okay, I promise I'm not stacking the deck here, I was just checking to see that it was recording, which apparently I'm not good at remembering to check. So I draw 4 cards. Yeah, I can make this work. I'll put back these duds, and yeah, go for Golden Rule. I've got a Ruby that I can summon, and I will place from the deck. Let's make it Sapphire and some junk. Summon the Ruby. Don't summon Ruby under Saryuja, or the Sapphires will miss timing, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Makes sense. Sapphire will place a crystal. I can use Saryuja to summon from the hand. Trade that for a World Sea Dragon, which will banish everyone, summon them back, and now the Sapphire will place another crystal, and that gives me 7. Now, I could use Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, but as soon as I bounce that Shinra Banjo off the field, the opponent will be able to use Impermanence again, so I want to make sure that I get 3 crystals. I'll use Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to destroy Ruby, and search for Awakening of the Crystal Ultimate. Now I can use Bridge of the Heart to bounce this. I've got 3 crystals, so my negation is live. I still don't have to fear cards like Impermanence. Next, I'm going to link these into a Sheep, summon Rainbow Dragon, because I've waited until after summoning Rainbow Dragon to use Awakening. I get to search for a Rainbow Bridge, and get another Crystal Beast summon. I'm going to take a Sapphire Pegasus, and I get to drop another crystal in back here. I'll place another Ruby. Now I will trade Rainbow Dragon for an Overdragon, triggering Sheep's effect, summoning another Sapphire Pegasus. Take a drink every time he summons Sapphire Pegasus. Place whatever, use Rainbow Overdragon's effect to gain 600 attack points, and then link it away for Apollo with 3 negates on it. I can return a banished Crystal Beast to play Nemesis Corridor, trade that. Now we've got Colossus on the field, and I can summon using the 5th effect of Rainbow Ruins, and top it off by searching for Crystal Miracle. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negates, attack prevention, and no searching. One more thing I could do is overlay the sapphires to get Abyss Dweller, but at this point in the turn, when I don't have a way to get another Ruby Swarm, this is costing 2 Crystal Beasts, which are worth 2 negations, thanks to Rainbow Ruins, so I'd be giving up 2 negates to get that Xyz monster, and leaving an open zone. I'd rather not do that, so I will just keep the spell negates. As you'll see in this replay, another benefit of Colossus is that it gives you another way of triggering Sheep toward the end of your setup. I was trying to multitask here, so I didn't put Power Tool Dragon in the extra zone like I typically do, which meant my Ruby would summon 1 less Crystal Beast, which later down the road left me 1 material short of a good Sheep, and I was not gonna link away Zealantis and lose that attack prevention. Thanks to Corridor and Colossus, I was able to use Rainbow Dragon as link material and still have a way to drop a purple card under the Sheep. This was a sloppy turn, but educational nonetheless. I almost always end on 7 negates plus Worldsea and Colossus, even playing through Impermanence and Primal. That combo of Thunder Dragon Colossus plus SP Little Knight is pretty great if a single Sapphire is the best you've got from your opening hand, and you don't feel like gambling on Pot of Greed to draw the out. SP doesn't link down, so you will not be able to follow up with Skull Dread and Apollousa, so you're gonna have a quick turn. Despite the simplicity of this play, it still loses to all the usual counters. That's the main reason why I don't prefer the Conclave control style of Crystal Beasts. The allure is supposed to be that simpler turns are harder to disrupt, but most notable plays still function off the same spells as the turbo strategy, so often you're just limiting your potential when those cards resolve. If you were able to end on Colossus and SP, then you probably could have ended on 7 negates too. There's no harm in packing this combo for when it comes up, if you've got the space and the cash, but I'm not willing to let go of my Synchros, or my Brand Flakes. You keep your grubby grabbers off my flakes. Also consider that that Infernal Flame Banshee could have been a simple Dweller or Baguska, even under Droll. These can be even stronger depending on the matchup, and either way, does the specific Floodgate really matter when it'll be sitting next to Apollo and Ruins and Miracle? I figured, no. That's not worth 2 slots out of an extra deck that's already tighter than mine. But I already bought an overpriced Colossus and I needed to justify it or I'd feel even worse. So I analyzed this more closely and found that these cards do offer more than the other Floodgates. You're spending 2 monsters to summon Banshee, but you're also getting 2 monsters back, and then your Floodgate later. You go +1. And you can do this Xyz summon early in the turn, even before your Link 4. Whereas these Floodgates have to be Xyz summoned at the very end, where they will cost you negation. If what I've been saying about the intricacies of these end boards doesn't make sense, play a few hands Solitaire. This is a great deck to play Solitaire, so you can get a feel for how these 40-step turns play out. As a fun bonus, fun is subjective. If you have multiple ways to get a swarm going, then you can play through primals. So watch, we'll do a Bond and Beacon combo, get a bunch of crystals, play a Ruby, get to 4 summons. Now, before going into your Link 4, you can make a 5th summon here, try to go through a Banshee. If they don't negate it, great, you know where that's going. But if they do, drop a rock on you, you have saved Golden Rule, so now you can get Ruby, keep on swarming. Don't rely on just Golden Rule to make your plays. You've got options, and if you make efficient use of them, you can muscle through Disruption. Okay, it's time for that 11th hour plot twist. Throw out the Banshee, yeet the Colossus, yeet Angelica. We're summoning the strongest Floodgate of all. Great Shogun Sheep. Wait, wrong combo video. Remember what I said earlier about how there are a bunch of ways to summon Flag without needing to use its own effect? Well, there is another rank 4 who gets you something to spend a summon on. During a live stream last month, hello, sometimes I do streams now, I suddenly remembered one of my crazy side deck techs from the days before Golden Rule, Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. If you've got a normal summon to spare for Nemesis Flag, then you could also be summoning Gallant Granite into Patchy the Pirate. You get a rank 4 Floodgate, and you get a rank 4 Floodgate, and everybody gets a rank 4 Floodgate! Prevent the opponent from attacking over Patchy, and he might be an even more oppressive Floodgate than Colossus. Or if you want to go really hard, ¿por qué no los dos? Oh my god, I haven't normal summoned. We're going for Patchy. I'm doing it. At this point in the combo, yeah, I'm gonna search for Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. Nah, good enough. And for the coup de grace, we drop Patchy. And so, with this board, you know, I could have gone for Baguska and Necro Valley, or I've got 4 monster negates, and then an Omni negate, no searching, no special summoning, no battle phase. And on my next turn, I get to drop Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Oh, and we got a 100 grade. A+, everybody. PhDs in dueling for everyone. If you're going first later in the match, it takes minimal investment to side in Conclave and the Rocks to smokescreen into a completely different turn 1 setup. This deck is so versatile, just to pick whichever engines speak to you, and feel free to shuffle them up between games to throw off your opponent. Okay, this video was about Colossus, and then it turned into a lot of other things. I'm very fluent in Crystal Beasts. I do wish the world would want something from me other than just Crystal Beast videos and my perfect booty, but you have to subscribe to me on a different website to get that.